All right, mate. Well, let's wrap up the show with a bit of AFL news. There's a little bit of Geelong sprinkled in there. We like to sprinkle a little bit of Geelong in as well, where we can. Now, we've talked about your big news with the launch. We won't go there again. Did you happen to watch any of the two grand final documentaries? One put out by Foxtel and the other was on the AFL website, I think.
On the AFL website.
Yeah, did you
watch
watch
the AFL
those?
one was only like 15, 20 minutes.
Something like that, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, I've watched both. So,
and did you cry? Did you tear up at all? Did you get emotional?
I was keeping a tally during the Foxtel one, and that was 5 times.
Okay.
So
that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. You're in touch with your emotions. That's good to see.
Gary, Levi, and Joel, and all
you're not human,
those sorts of moments.
If you don't cry about that, you're not human.
Sammy Morefoot, all those sorts of moments along the way. Hell, even the Joel Selwood goal itself, and you see the family losing their mind, just completely losing it in the stands.
Yeah.
All things that I thought I'd gotten out of the system in the afterglow of the grand final, but as soon as it gets brought up again, the tears start flowing.
It was interesting to see all his teammates giving him taking the piss out of Joel, saying he couldn't kick 40 metres normally, but he's gone the banana from 45
and done it.
No one thought he was going to kick it, so they're all getting stuck in him. That was nice. And Joel Selwood, you can't put a camera on Joel Selwood without him getting all emotional now. He was pretty.
Yeah, he started struggling both.
The whole season, every time someone put a camera in front of him, he started getting emotional. But good on him. Love the bloke. The next piece of news, mate. I'm really keen to hear your thoughts on this. The AFL announced a club championship award, so they're going to repurpose the McClellan Trophy, which historically has always been awarded to the team who finishes the highest in the home and away. But now it's going to be, they're combining the women's comp and the points from the women's and the men's. I think women's are getting twice the points because there's less games. And there'll be a club championship award. I love it. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's a fantastic idea.
I'm all for it outside of the women's games being worth double. I get the mathematical reason behind the whole thing, but and I don't know. It might simply be because I looked at the 2022 one and saw that, well, had they not given Melbourne double points, and Geelong would have won both.
Really?
But I think
good point.
Because of that, I understand what they're saying. There's the incentive to try and make sure that both teams are firing on all cylinders, but realistically, that's not often going to be the case for clubs. Because you're at different points in your systems, even to go with this model at such an early stage in the AFLW, you've got new teams that have still only barely entered the competition. So it's a real disadvantage to someone like a Sydney, for example, they literally did not win a game in the AFLW last year.
Mm.
And that's because their team was in its first year.
True.
And so there's the imbalances that kind of come from that as well.
Okay.
So I'd like to see, I like the idea. I'd like it to pop up 10 years from now.
Really?
When both competitions, you'd like to imagine the AFLW at that point is firing on all cylinders. Everyone's had the chance to experience the ups and the downs. Teams have gone through rebuilds in the AFLW, but at the moment we look at Adelaide and Brisbane, for example, and they just haven't. Melbourne, same deal. They just haven't dropped it. We haven't seen that cycle through yet, which means that it favours the teams that have been there the longest.
Okay.
Right now, especially if their men's team happens to be peaking at the same time, like Melbourne's is at the moment, like Brisbane's is right now, like we might be, because I think the girls are well and truly on the way up.
They sure are.
And we're obviously going to be right there and thereabouts. So
very excited for the AFLW team to get cracking in 2023.
I feel really good about where the girls are going.
Yeah.
So I think, it's kind of the maths teacher in me. It's the equity, trying to be equitable to all teams thing. And again, there's teams like Sydney, as an example, that are they could go out and, for example, win the flag for the men's, but their women's team are probably not going to get anywhere near it. They will be cellar dwellers probably because they're in their second year in the comp. I don't feel like it's fair. Same with Essendon, as an example. Essendon could be one of the very worst in the whole thing because their men's team's going to be shithouse, and you're completely wrong. So their men's team's going to be shithouse, and the girls are still in their second year now. Again, they've got Maddie Press-Parkis over there that absolutely helps bolster their team. But they're probably going to be cellar dwelling potentially in both things, and it's just because the women haven't had enough time yet.
I say bad luck, but no, I hear what you're saying. Maybe a couple of years down the track. Maybe if they had said in two years time, this is what's going to happen. That's fair enough. The other thing, I think it's a great idea, but
Yeah, that would have even been okay. I feel like.
I think probably don't give them double the points. I think maybe just keep it 4 points each, no matter what. I think eventually the women's game they'll put more games into the home and away anyway. So I think just start it with the 4 points rather than have to change it again later. I think I'd much rather do that. I think it'll do wonders.
Is the women's team exactly half the size? Is that kind of the rationale?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly that way, but look, I think it's going to be really good for our for everyone who maybe doesn't really pay attention to the AFLW to start giving it a bit more attention, especially if there's something really big like a trophy on the line, which has a bit of meaning. Now, the McClellan Trophy, no one cared about that, but maybe now we do, and I'm sure a lot of the players will be keen to share a bit of the coin that gets thrown around as well. Mate, now I want to move on to there's a red-headed fella called Ed Sheeran that went bonkers on the
Cameron Link.
Not Cameron Link, it's his brother or his cousin from over in the UK. But he absolutely tore up the surface of the MCG, and it's in a horrible state at the moment. Is it going to be ready for round one? Because I think you and I are both aiming to get there for round one on the Friday night.
No, unfortunately, I won't be able to get there for round one.
Kidding?
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh well.
I'm going to be trying to pull some strings, but I'll have a very unhappy wife if I do. Because I've got a work commitment the very next night.
Save your brownie points for later in the year, mate. I think
it's exactly how 2023 worked out for me. I
will represent the Hoop Show at the game. Don't worry.
Yeah, I suspect I may not be there, but I'm going to try.
But will the ground be ready? Will the ground be ready round one?
Yeah, that's fine.
They knew
what they were in for. They were planning for it, and we see regular photo updates and we see how that thing's being laid. So, and not to mention, and it's a thing that I only learned about this week, like there is a degree of synthetic that is built into all of the turf these days anyway, which just helps prime it and keep it ready to go. So, I didn't know anything about that, but I heard it this week. I can't even remember where I heard it, but that was an interesting little tidbit, and it will help. It means that they can do a lot of work on the back end and have that synthetic there to help prop the whole thing up. So, it'll be cherry ripe for Thursday night for the D's for the Tigers and the Blues, and then us the following night against the Pies.
Well, hopefully the first game they don't tear it up again for us. Now I will be getting my pole position at Fed Square so I can get ready to walk with Joel Selwood across the bridge. Apparently he's leading the march, the Geelong Throng. That's what we should call ourselves, the Geelong Throng. Maybe not. But anyway, we'll be walking to the G, and then Selwood I'll say goodbye to Joel. I'll say, thanks, mate. Nice to chat with you for the last 30 minutes while we walked.
Yeah, come on behind the play.
Come on behind the play if you can. And he'll
be doing palms, mate. You got to do the work for us.
I've got to try harder. I've got to work harder behind the scenes, mate. And he'll be doing his lap of honour. So that'll be good. Carry the flag, I think, or something like that. Maybe the trophy. We'll see. So that'll be exciting, and I'll hopefully get a reasonable set. I'm not sure where we're sitting, level 2, I think. So I'll try and get some photos, and I'll post them on the Twitter. Now there's just a couple more. There's a joint CBA. This is again sort of involving the women's game.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if you've heard about this one, but they're talking about the potential for a joint collective bargaining agreement where the men will take 85% of the cut and the women 15%. I'm not sure if that'll stay that way forever, but that's what they're sort of angling at. Any thoughts on that? Is that the right way to go, or is it too early in the piece, similar to the combined club championship thing? What are your thoughts?
Look, I know the masses would want me to say 50-50, and I hope that we get to a point where it can be a 50-50 split. But obviously, as things stand in 2023, the bulk of the money comes through the men's competition, and so consequently, and again, this is a math thing for me. It should be proportional. And again, I hope that continues to improve over the years, and I hope that we trend towards a 50-50 split and it becomes perfect. That it would completely suggest that at that stage, the men and the women are dominating, pulling equitable crowd numbers. So I hope that is the case for a whole myriad of reasons. But right now, as we stand in 2023, the men bring in all the money. Yeah. So
I think you've summed it up pretty well. That's probably my feeling as well at the moment. But I'm like you.
Bring on the women's comp though. I'm
100% a big supporter of the women's comp, and I would love to see a bit more parity as the years go by, and hopefully we trend that way. But for now, I think if we're going to go a joint CBA, I think I'm not objecting to that at all. So Yeah, that'd be a bit of a shame. Second last one. I'll make this the last one because we've already talked about your launch invite. I've got that on my agenda here. The AFLW trade period. I don't think there's been any action on the Cats really. There's a couple of other big names from other AFLW
No,
players moving, but nothing's really happening in Geelong land really.
It's been pretty quiet so far. Chatting to, I guess showing the hand a little bit for people going forward. But Kate Darby, AFLW Geelong player, is on behind the play in the coming weeks and months.
Cracker of an
and
episode.
we were having a bit of a chat to it. What was that? Sorry,
that was a cracker of an episode. I listened to that one the other day. I get the little sneak peek, so I have a little bit of a listen. But it was a fantastic one. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I was very happy with how it went too. So again, people, like if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, that'll get you your early access. So please make sure to let's do it.
I'll chuck it up
coffee.
this week.
That's all it takes for a month.
That's right.
But having a chat to her, like she didn't feel like anything was going down. Now, of course, it's a trade period, so things pop up out of nowhere. That's how we come to lose certain players, like a Cooper Stevens, for example, players that kind of seemingly disappear out of nowhere. But I'll back her in. I don't think now that all clubs have established in the comp, I think it'll be a little slower this year. So she didn't expect anyone to go. She seemed to be more of the mind that maybe someone will come, and she wasn't hinting at anything, but she was more hopeful that we'll make additions rather than subtractions.
No one really knows, do they? Except maybe the players that are thinking about it. So
exactly,
we don't want to lose Georgie Prasparka because she's the one that scares me every trade.
And AMAC as well.
AMAC's here to stay, I think, anyway. But Georgie's like, we've got a sister. Will she go to Essendon? Who knows?
Yeah, that's a reasonable concern.
All right, mate. I think we're due to wrap up the show. Now, as if you haven't already done so, and hopefully you've enjoyed the content tonight. I've had a lot of fun talking about the Cats. It's always good chatting with Paul about the Catters, and these shows are really fun. We only do them. We do one at the start of the year, and we'll do one at the end of the year as well. But we might do a mid-season review when we've got a little bye round as well. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. As I said, we're really trying to build our subscriber base. We're hoping to nudge 1,000 by the end of the year, which will be exciting. And Paul, you touched on your Behind the Play show. There's a pretty big guest, which I sort of hinted at before. I might have bumped him up the order a little bit, but he's coming on Tuesday night. He's a premiership player for the Catters.
Yeah. You had me thrown off before when you were saying what you're saying. So yeah, we've got Brian Myers.
We need to talk
on Behind the Play this week. I saw it on the YouTube back end, so that's kind of how I had that kind of bubbling along. But yeah, this Tuesday, Brian Myers is going to be on the show, so you can catch that on the YouTube channel. You can catch it on the Behind the Play podcast feed as well. The numbers on the podcast feed version have been quietly fantastic, considering I haven't put out an episode in about 6 months.
Wow.
It's like things have just been gently trucking along. There's been there's clear new subscriptions because you then see this beautiful little spike of someone who goes and downloads every single episode that's released so far, all in one hit. And then you see classic episodes bobbing up from time to time. So it's been really, really great to see in the off season. And now that we're going to start getting a regular clip of guests going forward and headlined by the likes of Brian as a recent, freshly anointed premiership player, onwards and upwards.
Get around. Darby will be a premiership player at the end of this year, and Brookie Plummer, she'll be another one as well, and
then we've got awesome guests like Terry Degani and more coming on the show in the future as well. So
all that sort of stuff. A few other big names which you may or may not know, but it's good. It's a great show, so check that one out. Now, Anna was a late out for today, but she'll be back.
Unwell.
She'll be back unwell. We've given her the week off, so she'll be back.
She said she had a wedding, so I think she's just clearly had a bit of a bender last night.
The dodgy seafood or something. I don't know what it was, but maybe
bit too much booze.
So rest up, Anna. We're thinking of you. We hope you get better soon. All that sort of stuff. Now I'll be back on the show. Well, not this kind of. Well, I'll be the standalone, the Han Solo on Wednesday. For my Wednesday show. So hopefully you'll check that one out. It's a bit of a shorter version. It's like a 15-minute kind of version. And if you haven't already, we've got 2 tipping comps going this year. We've got a free one. I think we'll do like a $50 cat shop voucher or something like that at the end of the year. So check that one out. I might leave the link for that in the show notes. And there's a...
Do you need me to join these?
Mate, we need everyone to join it, mate. Because more people to beat.
And I'm not even talking about like if I win. Sorry, when I win.
More people to beat is what we need.
I'll offer the $50 gift voucher to the person who comes second.
Thank you very much. I'll do
just
that
gotta
too. If
like,
I
share,
win it,
subscribe.
I'll give it to the second place person. And we have a high roller version of the tipping competition as well. Which when I say high roller, it's $10. So if you want to actually part with $10, yeah, I know it's big money. But we do acknowledge other people are in other comps as well. So, but if you want to be in the hoops high rollers comp. We'll leave the link for that as well. Paul, it's been a fantastic show, probably our best show. It's only our second show, but it's probably the best one we've done so
Best
far.
of two.
10 out of 10, mate. Hopefully everyone else feels the same way. Let us know in the comments. Give us some love. And until next time, go Cats.
See you later.